What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video we are going to be talking about how aftermarket parts are absolute trash, and we are going to be putting an OEM belt tensioner on my 1998 Mustang Cobra that is currently behind me because it's squeaking. And I will get into why I believe that OEM parts are just much better. So guys, we're going to open up the hood so I can show you guys exactly what I am talking about. And I will say the tensioner and the idler pulley on this car are not very old. But I know from experience, especially on this car, I don't know if it has to do with the car revving, as high as it does. Our red line is 7,200 RPMs. I don't know if that has something to do with it, because you got to remember this tensioner is probably the same for multiple different Fords. So it's possible, but our tensioner lives right here. That is where our noise is coming from. I did the old trick. If you guys didn't know, if you have a pulley that's making noise, you could take some WD-40 with a straw and you could spray each one of these pulleys individually till the noise goes away. Once the noise goes away, you have your culprit. So I know my culprit is the tensioner. The tensioner on this car, like I was saying, is not that old, but it is a Duralast tensioner. It's aftermarket, and honestly, I should have known from past experiences. The aftermarket idler and tensioner pulleys on these cars just do not hold up. I don't know if it's something to do with heat, something to do with how high these cars rev, but they don't work for a very long time. They go bad prematurely. I mean, it is what it is. We did go ahead and we do have an OEM Ford right there, Ford belt tensioner. I mean, you got to also keep in mind, once the turbo is mounted here, that is not going to be an easy job anymore. So I definitely want to take care of this now before we go slap a turbo here. So let me show you guys the squeak, and it's not a very hard job, but I'll walk you guys through it and I'll show you why that's bad. So I do turn the power off in my car in the garage, and I do that just for good measure. I don't want, I'm not saying that we would have like an electrical fault or anything, but I don't want any chance of this possibly having an electrical fault, catching fire, and then catching the house on fire. That would be very foolish of me when it's very easy to just turn the breaker off. I'm going to open this door just part way. Right about there is good. I just don't want to die of carbon monoxide. This car is, straight piped. It has, it has cats, we'll say. But I'm going to start her up, and this noise literally only happens when the car is cold. Once the car warms up, it actually goes away. But I'd rather just get rid of it altogether. So I'm sure you guys can probably hear it already. I know my exhaust is loud, but there you go. You hear that chirping? That chirping noise is what we're going to be fixing. I want to turn the car off actually before it gets warm. I don't want to be working in an extremely hot engine bay. That would just be kind of stupid to let the car warm up. So that is the noise. That is what we are dealing with. I'm just going to leave the door cracked since this job's really not going to take very long. And I'm going to have to start it afterwards to make sure the noise is gone. So my particular car, I don't know if they put this bracket right here. There's like a bracket where the tensioner can't, I guess, overextend or something. This bracket needs to come off, and they are 13 millimeter bolts, one here and one there, and this whole bracket will come off. I'm just going to get a wrench for that because my ABS is extremely close. I'm going to take those two off, and then we're going to pull the tensioner off. It looks like the tensioner is only held on with 3 bolts, one here, and one here. Those are probably 13 millimeter too, if I know Ford. I know we got our nice, beautiful turbo in the background over here. I can't wait to start actually putting this stuff on the car, guys. But yeah, so let's get this done.
Just get the hell out of my car.
All right, guys, so I got the old tensioner out. It's down there. We're going to compare the two because this is definitely like a China cheapo. Not that the OEM one's expensive, which we'll go over in 1 second too. But I did lie to you guys a little bit. Your coil pack bracket will actually mount to that tensioner, so you're going to have to remove the coil pack bracket. I chose to not disconnect all of my spark plug wires, the plug and everything, just because you don't need to. You could just tuck this up like that and just kind of work around it. It's not that big a deal. So the coil pack bracket is held on with a nut, 2 bolts, 13 millimeters. That bracket that I was talking about in the beginning, this guy right here, is held on with 2 13 millimeter nuts. And then your belt tensioner is going to be held on with these stud looking things. The longer end obviously going towards the engine. These are 15 millimeters. And yeah, that's literally it. Oh, and you're going to need a 1/2 inch breaker bar to get your belt off because the opening in the tensioner right here is a 1/2 inch. So now, if we're going to put both tensioners up against each other, just move a couple things around here. All right. So as you can see, Ford emblem, no Ford emblem, whatever this nice design is that we got going on here. If you guys like triangles, plenty of triangles on this cheap tensioner. But the pulley is very, very degraded. I don't know if you guys can see all of that stuff on there, that rust and everything. I don't know. You could kind of sort of hear it, but not really. Like you could hear like a little bit. You could kind of hear it. I don't know if the camera is going to pick it up, but you could kind of hear it. I promise you guys. If you guys can't hear it, I promise you, you could kind of hear it. This is now garbage. Here's our OEM tensioner. This tensioner only cost me $67 for an OEM Ford Motorcraft tensioner. I got this through my work. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find one online, Rock Auto, or anywhere. They didn't have it, so maybe you could find it somewhere. I got it through my work. I got it at Parts Authority, so I don't know if you guys work at a shop, or I'm pretty sure you could walk into Parts Authority too. So Parts Authority, you can get an OEM tensioner, but pretty much we're just going to do reverse order and put everything back. But I'm going to put grease on every single one of these bolts because they were a little stubborn. Like as you can see, the corrosion up top there. Keep in mind, guys, this car sat outside for 5 years when it was not in my possession. So that explains a lot of why the bolts were the way they were. I haven't taken the tensioner off this car since I bought it back. So yeah, but we need to get this thing on, and squeak should be a thing of the past. All right, guys, so it's all back together. Everything, the coil pack, the bracket, the tensioner, the belt, everything like that. Everything's back together. We're about to start it up. Hopefully we have no noise. Should be fixed. The old WD-40 trick usually don't let me down, so let's see what's about to happen here. Make sure you're nooch. Nooch. Not neutral. Make sure you're nooch. We a nooch. I hear no squeak. I think we're good. I let it idle down a little bit just because my exhaust is extremely loud. It's going to be a lot louder when the exhaust is exiting the bumper with the turbo. That's going to be pretty loud, especially up here. But as you can hear, we ain't got no squeak at all, which is great news. I tried to put the AC on and everything to make sure it was going to 100% be gone. So far, so good. I don't hear anything at all, which is great news. Yes, that lock actuator is bad. We have to get that too. Those are relatively cheap. They're like 40 bucks or so. But I just haven't gotten around to fixing that part of the car yet. But make sure our power's back off. You know, obviously it's going to be sitting in the garage. Close our hood down. And yeah, we should be good to go. Belt feels good. I think feels good there. I did have an oil leak from my oil pan a while back. I ran it across Route 9, like we're talking 10 years ago or so. And ever since then, the pan was obviously all scraped up and everything. But I do have an MMR 10 quart or 7 quart pan on this. I say 10 quarts because it actually holds like 9 quarts. But yeah, so I ran it across Route 9 way back when I was going to a car meet one day. And it's always leaked. Like I cracked the pan a little bit. So I did go ahead and I fixed that at work on Monday, actually. I just JB welded the bottom of the pan. I didn't want to weld the pan on the car just because I don't know how I feel about that. So I JB welded it, which if you guys go way back on my channel, I JB welded the bottom of the quad I had, the blaster. I JB welded the bottom of the case and it never had no issue. And we're talking like it was like a pinhole in the oil pan. So it's not like, you know, it was like destroyed or anything and I like smeared JB Weld on it. I just filled the hole, painted the bottom of the pan, and we're good. We don't have any leaks under the Mustang now whatsoever, which is great because I got really tired of cleaning up my garage. But that's fixed. I do want to keep this pan because it already has an oil drain for the turbo. Like it's built into the pan already. So it's just one less thing I have to worry about. And it holds the extra oil that we're probably going to need for the boost and everything like that. You know, the turbo and everything that's going to want extra oil and, you know, the whole nine. So I definitely wanted to save this pan. And I also just realized my garage, even if you stop it partially up and you double click it, it doesn't go down. You have to go all the way open. So now it's really cold in here. So we're going to close this video out before I freeze to death. So Jersey's getting some cold weather lately, guys. Like it was like in the 30s this morning, actually. It was really cold. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It's just a quick video on the Mustang. You know, we got plenty of stuff to do on the Mustang. Not really much to do on any of the other cars. Maybe we'll come up with something. I've been neglecting the Jeep, guys. I'm very sorry about that, but I just don't have time to like drive the thing. Like I drive the Subaru every day and I take the Mustang out when I want to take the Mustang out, but I almost never have time to drive my Jeep unless like I need it for something like to tow a trailer or something like that. But I don't know. We'll figure something out with the Jeep for sure. We'll get her back out. I promise. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please drop a like up on this video. Drop a comment down below. Subscribe to the channel. We have boost coming. So definitely hit the subscribe button down below. But I will catch you guys in next week's video, Friday, 12 p.m. Peace out.